Greetings, friends. When people come to Rewild University, it's about much more than just learning primitive skills. Two other things that we focus on a lot are reshaping our view of our culture. The main way we do that is by spending time away from it, and then going back and seeing it with fresh eyes. Another aspect is trying to reshape some of our default mechanisms for seeing the world, particularly away from fear or hate-based reactions to love and compassion-based responses, both towards ourselves and others. Today in this video, you're going to meet Garrett. You're going to hear about him stepping out of the woods and back into civilization for a little bit, what he noticed. I think particularly touching for me was seeing his attitude toward people who are battling with extra weight on their body, seeing that shift and change to a very compassion and love-based response. So I think you'll find this interesting today. Okay, hi everybody. This is Garrett, and you're here for 4 months.
Yep.
Putting up with a lot of mosquitoes and all kinds of challenges.
Got here June 4th.
June 4th. Now, the other day, so what we do here at Rewild University is not just all in the woods. So sometimes we're, for instance, going into civilization, into town, and trying to do something, for instance, like we went into town and tried to see it, like what it looks like when you've been out of our culture for a while. And then we were trying some approaches to people. Yeah. But just...
Do you want me to tell how I...
Just tell us your adventure.
Alright, so I decided to go on a hike to Hayward and finish out my route that I was going to take before.
So maybe... Probably a 10-mile. The finish it was maybe a 10-mile hike through the woods, or
okay,
it was a good distance.
It was like 5 miles through the woods, and then when I came to the road, I had like I think it was like 12 miles left on the road.
Okay.
And, beautiful scenery and stuff. So yeah, and so that morning I just decided to go out and finish up my hike, and. So, like, I learned a deep appreciation for vehicles and old farm ladies who let you hitchhike. So, yeah. Yeah, so on my way there, I ended up having to walk on the highway, on Highway 77. And the scenery was beautiful, but I just saw everyone just zooming by in their cars, and it was like, wow, people are really in a hurry. We have to go 55 miles an hour or more to get anywhere. And it's like, wow, we are all in a hurry in a way. It's weird. Like, you just realize if you could snap your fingers and just halt it, put everything to a halt, like, I just piques my imagination a little bit what would happen if you just stopped everyone and suddenly, like, let them look at what they were doing without, like...
where they were, who was around them.
Yeah.
All this. But you were noticing people just...
Yeah.
Or go.
Just, it didn't matter, like, I don't know, just... When I drove, I was kind of the same way, like 90 miles an hour everywhere. Passing people. So it's like I come to kind of a little bit of introspection there, so that was good.
Wow.
And so I make my way there on the highway, and I also noticed just all the smells of the vehicles and just how noisy they are, like the noises that they make. They're actually just being out here and then being on the highway, it's constant noise. Like, I don't know how anyone lives on the highway, because it's just constant noise. So, I got into Hayward, and I immediately went to the ATM to check on my bank account. And I realized, or I just checked my thing, and I was like, oh gosh, I'm not going to have enough money for anything when I come back home. And it just hit me like, what am I going to worry about this all the time? Like, am I seriously going to sit here and worry about something that I have no control over right now? Like it took me into the moment, and it made me just enjoy the rest of the day. Like I wasn't worried about anything the rest of the day. I wasn't worried about money. I wasn't worried about this or that.
Was it just seeing your mind's tendency to take that thing you have no control over, as you say?
Yeah.
And then it could, from there, I mean, you could just ruin your entire day, right?
Yeah.
Worrying about that thing.
Mm-hmm.
But that translated beyond that into other experiences that you had.
Yeah. Like, it was like, I went in and bought myself a burrito at the taco shop that you told me about.
Yeah.
And, like, it was just not worrying about the cost of that burrito made that burrito just taste 10 times better. Like,
I suppose you could buy it and be like, oh, but it cost me $7 or whatever.
Yeah.
And
I'm gonna be in debt the rest of my life.
And you wouldn't even taste it. You're worried so much.
Yeah.
So why buy it in the first place?
Yeah. And then later on in the day, I forget the name of her, but I sat down and talked to this, I think she was in her 30s, I think. And I just sat down on this bench. I had a donut, and a donut.
A donut. Oh.
A donut and a bottle of milk. And I just sat down and I said, "Hey, what's up?" and talked to her. And we ended up talking about a lot of different things. Like I told her about my wariness of going to college and stuff. And she's like, college is great. It's the only thing I would do twice. And I was just like, well, I know that I'd do this donut and milk twice. She's like, living in the moment, I guess. I was like, yeah. So, yeah, that was another thing.
What else did you observe about our culture, our society that we live in?
I observed that okay, so you imagine what our ancestors long before city life, long before civilization. I imagined what the things that they would do in their free time. Whether it's like a spear throwing competition, or just like playing around, or in the woods or something, or like hunting, and I realized that the only nexus of relation that most of us have with the other man next to us is through the things we buy. And that the only nexus of relationship anymore is economic. And it's purely economic, I think. Yeah. I guess that's kind of what I just observed. So.
I felt some interesting observations about, okay, so we were looking around, and the rule of body morphology seemed to be that everybody's pretty overweight.
Yeah.
But you did something interesting, because a lot of people will look around and say, oh, look at everybody in the extra weight.
All these disgusting fat people.
What? But you didn't do that at all.
It was like, no, it astonished me because I realized that, wow, there's this many people who feel, who are overweight, and they obviously have to feel that sort of, like they have to deal with that on a regular basis. And it's like, wait a minute, all of these people around me, you're telling me that they all made the conscious choice to be overweight. And I was like, there's no way that that is possible. Like, when the majority of people around you have that extra weight, it doesn't seem to me like they themselves are making that choice. I think that like what surrounds them makes the choice for them, like the donut shop, the ice cream shop. And those are all things that pertain to our, like, our taste buds the most. Those are the things that hit our sensors, the pleasure sensors, the most. And those obviously are the things that produce those are the things that make money. Those are the things that produce profit. So
back to the economics.
Yeah.
It's actually shaping our bodies, is what
Yeah.
you were kind of observing.
Yeah.
I mean, we could say, we could be really hard-assed and say, yes, you decide whether you're going to have weight on your body or not. But it's not that easy of a decision.
Yeah.
When you look at everything stacked against you, I mean, we have to cultivate so much discipline, so much willpower, so much everything in order to stand against a donut. I mean, you experienced it yourself. I mean, it's wired into us pretty strong.
I was pretty happy with what happened with me in the donut. I saw all these huge donuts in there. I was like, oh man, I just don't want anything that big anymore. I just want the smaller one. So I'm glad I made that. I'm glad I switched over on that one. So, I mean, I could have gotten a huge donut. But.
And then you talked about stuff pulling your eyes here and there. I think we talked about that movie, I can't remember it, with the sunglasses, or you kind of see beyond.
Yeah. See the hidden ideology behind everything. Yeah.
But definitely, I mean, you walk down that main street and it's like, look over, look here, look, no, me, over here. Every direction you look, stuff is pulling you. What did that feel like coming out of the woods into?
I got a headache, honestly.
Did you really?
Yeah, I was like, oh, wow, and there's just, like, you can't even concentrate on what's in front of you. Like, it's weird. Like, you think, oh, I'll go to the CD shop. Oh, I'll go over there. Oh, whoa, over there. Yeah. You kind of, it does kind of pull you around in a way. But, yeah, I don't know. Just being in the woods for so long and, like, training your awareness, I was able to get, like, details out of the scenery around me, and that was kind of cool.
Yeah, I noticed that. You pointed out some really interesting things that most people wouldn't.
And they just glance over,
Yeah.
In a way, when you see the details of the scenery around you, it just makes your entire world 10 times richer. It's weird. It's kind of cool, but yeah. I mean, again, on the fat people, I could have looked around and said, wow, these disgusting fat people around me, they're too stupid that they can't realize that they're overweight and that they shouldn't be eating sugar or whatever. But it was much more profound than that. It wasn't a hatred. It was more like a love for people rather than hate. Like, how could you, like, I can't bring myself to hate a small child who's fed sugar, He doesn't. How do you hate someone for that, How do you... So the the negative talk like that, these people sort of thing. Seeing yourself as separate. Like, if you're gonna try and help people out, they're not gonna see you as helping them. They're gonna see you as their enemy. You're trying to take away our sugar. But when you decide that you love these people instead, it's much more, they understand you.
I think that's a powerful thing, because there's all these divisions that we make, you know, young and old and fat and healthy and skin color and whatever, you know. We can find any kind of dividing line as humans. We seem to be very good at that. And then to just ostracize people that are on the other side of that line. But that was just really powerful when you looked around to me and you weren't judging. I could tell in your eyes you weren't judging. You were
I'm just the same. Look at me shoving this donut down my mouth, you know? Like, I enjoy all the same pleasures, all the same things that these people do. The only difference is that, like, I've had the opportunity to realize.
Yeah. So often it's like that, you know, the thing we're criticizing over here. I'm usually harboring that inside myself. I just try not to look at it.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. But to see, wow, there's so much that actually bonds us together. And that's where I think, again, like you said, we can make changes, because we're seeing, hey, I'm not better than you.
Yeah.
I'm not above you in any way.
Yeah.
We're just in different places.
Yeah. That was actually pretty cool. Like, not seeing everyone's overweightness, but like seeing that I am no different was
wow. Share your thoughts in the comments below. You know, I think what I like about this, I had an experience when I came back from the teaching drum for 3 months, and again from Nepal for a month early. You know, this is a long time ago, before it was pretty westernized, because I'm so old. But, you know, have you had times when you've been able to step outside of our culture and then step into it? And what did our culture look like with that fresh, you know, relatively fresh view, or kind of outsider's perspective? I think we have a really interesting world we've created around ourselves.
Yeah.
But when we don't see the details, our eyes just kind of gloss over.
Yeah.
And we're not really aware of most of what's going on. But sometimes when we see it, it's a little interesting what we've got going. So share any observations you have. Thanks for watching.